what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Sense of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video. Today I have a fun video for you guys. We are going to talk about 5 awesomely bad fragrances. So let me preface this video by saying I don't hate these fragrances. There's things about them that are great, but I would think that maybe most people out there who aren't into fragrances might think that they're like awful. And I totally get it. And they're sort of fun to wear and poke fun at the same time too. So before we jump into the video, if it's your first time here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Again, guys, we're growing and I can't thank you all enough for everyone who subscribes, tunes in, watches, comments, and interacts in any way. Check out the Instagram page. If you guys have an Instagram, follow that at Sense of South Jersey for news and updates on the channel, photos of fragrances from my collection, scent of the day updates, and of course, you know, when the next video is going to drop and a way to contact me should you need to. Check out my Mercari page, guys. That's where I list all of the fragrances that I'm no longer wearing, that I'm selling. Many things have been featured on the channel. Many things are rare, discontinued, just stuff from my collection. I'm doing that to, you know, just make room for new things, to make new videos too. So check that out, of course, and as well as the Aurelius Apparel fitness shirts and the Masudo button downs too. So let's take a look at these 5 awesomely bad fragrances. Okay, coming in at number 1, a really inexpensive fragrance from the 80s. This is Bijan for Men. And, you know, look what's happened to it. Like, it's like gunked up there. It's leaking. It's this donut hole. And the funny thing is, if you go on the Bijan website, they're like, yes, this is $355 or $395. But if you go on any other site, it's like, you know, free. But it's this like stinky, musky, masculine, slight hint of vanilla, honey sweetness. Let's see. It's beast mode though. It lasts a long time. I don't like love it, but like I don't hate it either. I still have it. I wore the hell out of it. I would rock it to the gym because it's like when you're sweating, it's musky, it's sort of filthy. But Bijan for Men, it's of that era. They used to say Arnold and Stallone used to wear this, though I don't believe that. I think that was just some sort of internet rumor. Maybe it's true. I'm not sure. But the bottle's goofy. The smell is like obscene. It's slight animalic, whatever you want to say, but it's like very musky and kind of dirty, but very 80s. And hey, this is what started that type of things. Really is what got me into it too. So I appreciate it. It's a good one, and I'm definitely going to kill this bottle despite it leaking and looking kind of strange and having like an Ottoman Empire Sultan hat as a cap. Okay, coming in at number 2, the next fragrance is going to be Active Bodies by Adidas. This is like, you know, an old school early 90s sporty scent from Adidas, and I just sprayed some. I'm gonna spray some more. Look at this like cheapo atomizer, but it like is a fire hose. It's sort of funky, and I like it. I do dig this one, and I wore the hell out of it for a while, and I was wearing it to the gym, just wearing it casually. It's a great daily scent, but there's something about it that I could see, you know, someone being kind of like, oh, that's maybe even just someone thinks, oh, that smells old or doesn't smell like a Blue Aquatic Adidas fragrance, but there's like an underlying funkiness in there that adds to its fougere quality, because this is an aromatic fougere, but it is just different, and it is awesome. But I think some people might think it's bad too, and I think it's like awesomely bad. Like, I don't reach for it often. I haven't touched it in a while, but I'm like, this is a great fragrance for this video. And if it's not sold in the United States, unfortunately. I have a couple bottles. Maybe I should list one because what the hell. But anyway, I don't need that many, but it's got a funkiness to it, but it's also classic. It's very masculine. I think the best part about this is when it dries down. Same thing with like a lot of these, like Bijan, the one before. When it dries down, I think is when it becomes much better. But in the opening, it can be a little off-putting. But I think it's awesome as well as bad at the same time. All right, up next, we have a fragrance from the house of Moschino. It's Moschino Uomo. So, you know, a lot of people really like this one. And I started to think initially when I had it that I didn't like it, because when I sprayed it on, like the first thing I thought it smelled like was like walking down the boardwalk and smelling like the fried dough from the Zeppelis. And like, I don't want to smell like powdered sugar fried dough. But then other times I get hints of like a bright citrus, and it's like an Italian type of freshie with a little bit more of a punch to it in terms of the dry down. I don't know if it's a 90s or early 2000s. I think it's a 90s scent, but I could be wrong. Honestly, I didn't look it up. I should have. But it go back and forth whether I think it smells like fried dough or it's like a really nice, inexpensive, but really good Italian citrus scent that has up top, it has more of a warmer dry down. But there was this time where, and I still kind of go back and forth where I'm like, why does it smell like a Zeppeli? I don't want to smell like a Zeppeli. So again, awesomely bad at the same time. I think on though, when you have it on, like now that it dries down a little bit, even on this card in the seconds that I've been talking, it gets a little bit better. But initially, it just reminds me of the smell of fried dough at the boardwalk. And that's a scent memory I guess I can't shake, but I can detect the citrus in there too. So definitely one that I'm going to keep. Like I'm going to keep all of these. I'm not going to get rid of them. I just have to give them more time and maybe my mind will fully change on it. But right now it's an awesomely bad fragrance. All right, fragrance number 4 from the house of Jacques Bogart. This is Silver Scent Intense. So Jacques Bogart is a house that I think has a lot of awesomely bad fragrances. They have 3 amazing ones that I will wear forever and ever and ever. Number 1 being Bogart Signature, an amazing aromatic fougere, right up there with Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. Again, I think I've stated it in a video. I think that is like just as good, if not better, than the modern version of Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, which I absolutely love. Then there's Eau Fraiche, which I think is one of the best, like under the radar, fresh green scents ever that's still really masculine and long lasting. And then of course there's One Man Show, which is just like pine, soap, truck stop soap, and just overall, straight death. It's amazing. It's as Mr. Smelly calls it, oppressive. But that's a scent that I like and one of the first classics I've ever reviewed. I think that was my very first fragrance review ever, was One Man Show. But they have this other fragrance. They have a bunch of other fragrances and a lot of them suck. Silver Scent Original, I remember I had that briefly years ago and I didn't like it. It smelled way too sweet. And for whatever reason, about 3 or 4 months ago, something prompted me to buy this. And I was just like, what the hell, let me get it. And I got the body spray. I got to say, the body spray is what sold me on wearing the fragrance to giving it another shot. So you spray it on, good sprayer, built-in sprayer. And immediately it's got the fizzy grape syntheticness. But when this one dries down, unlike the original, there's a greenness to it, and almost like a very light green, and then it almost goes into like a nice clean, laundry, fresh smell. And it's not as obscene in terms of projection and longevity as, say, the original one, even though it's intense. So it's funny how that works, but the greenness in there is something that I pick up on that I'm like, oh, that actually smells okay. Of course, it's synthetic and it's cheap, which is why it's bad, but it also has an awesome quality to it, a green, fresh, clean scent once it dries down. But it does last a long time on clothes. Like you smell it, it's just not as ridiculous in terms of performance as, say, the original one was. So the gym is where I've been rocking this one at. Maybe I'm choking people out and I don't know it, but I don't really care. And it's a great, inexpensive, daily cheapo scent. So there's some good qualities, awesome and bad qualities to it, but I think it was a perfect fragrance for this list. And finally, the last fragrance on my awesomely bad fragrance list is one that I've done a review on way back in the day, and then I did another one called The Truth about the fragrance, and that's Lapidus Pour Homme. And I am convinced that no one really likes this fragrance. They just have it because everybody has it. It's like almost a novelty fragrance, in my opinion. I sprayed some on, like, it's got notes of like pineapple. I think this was 1987. Notes of pineapple. It's like a million notes. Pineapple, I remember being one of them, along with like 1,000 other things. Church incense, it reminds me of. It's comical how it smells. And it's like awful, but there's some okay parts at the same time. It's an awesomely bad fragrance. Like, I'm never going to get rid of it. Why would I? This is the same bottle. I don't even, if I could guess where it's at, it's probably like right there. I have used a decent amount, and there's a cleanness to it, a freshness, like a soapiness to it. People call locker room deodorant spray, but I still think that the opening kind of like sharpness of it, the church incense, is the most prevalent notes. It's just a funny fragrance. And again, I think, like Lapidus, but like, does anybody really say, wow, this is a masterpiece? Or do they just say, wow, this is a powerhouse and it's funny and I wear it once in a while? And I remember when I was wearing it to make the video, The Truth about Lapidus Pour Homme. But if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Just go search my videos and you'll find it. That's where I was just thinking to myself, because for a while I was like really forcing myself to think that I liked it. And I think it's okay to give it its credit while saying it's like atrocious at the same time, because it smells so obscene and it's a low quality, cheap fragrance. Some people might say it's low quality, but it is cheap. We can agree on that. And it's just different. Like, if you revisit it, ask yourself, do I really want to smell like this? But anyway, it's probably the first fragrance I thought of when I thought of making this video. But I'm gonna keep it, there's parts of it that I like to it. I appreciate it, I respect it. It's, it's Lapidus, that's what it is. Okay guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me. I hope you enjoyed this video of my 5 awesomely bad fragrances for men. Fragrances that I like in certain ways, but also don't like in certain ways, but I'm still going to keep them because I think, ultimately I enjoy wearing them to an extent. Maybe not as much with Lapidus Pour Homme. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, did you like these picks? Do you agree? What are your favorite awesomely bad fragrances? Fragrances that you keep, but like you think to yourself, why the hell do I have this again? So again, let me know in the comment section. You guys know I always appreciate all of the interaction. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out the Instagram page. Definitely check out the Mercari page if you're looking to purchase a fragrance from my collection, and the Aurelius Apparel Fitness shirt link, and of course the Masudo button downs as well. That'll all be in the description. Thank you so much for watching the video and hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.